Good lighting. It's really nice not having to worry about like my computer freezing and all that stuff anymore.
Yeah,
like,
that's great.
I don't really take the time to really like, you know, like think about it a lot, but it really is very nice that I can just like, boom, everything's better.
Are we on yet? Because I wanted to ask you about one of your most recent videos.
Yeah, I am on, but if it's not a bad video, or if it's not like
the Fortnite, is that a secret map to something?
Yeah. So there's a quest, there's a challenge. It's a weekly challenge. And so every week that you get a new set of challenges, and it's the weekly challenge is to find a map at this location called Dusty Depot and follow it to a secret treasure. And so it's just a guide. But I worded the way I worded it, it does look super clickbaity, but it's actually just like the title of the challenge. So if like you search for the challenge, you're gonna get my video. That's like, I felt kind of scummy, but I was like, that's what they called it. Like I can't, you know, but there is like an actual secret map, which is, it's kind of odd that they're doing that kind of stuff in Fortnite, but I really enjoy it. What's up, everyone in chat? Give me a second. I'm gonna tweet this out real quick. Anyone who can retweet it, you're an absolute monster. Oh, come to the roadmap.
You want to send me an invite?
Yeah.
While you're typing, of course.
Yeah, while I'm typing. I'm super talented. One second, everyone in chat. I see ya. I see the chat popping off. We'll get to you guys. We'll get to you guys. That makes it sound like I'm putting. No! Don't join my party. Dang it! I've joined so many people's parties accidentally over the last 24 hours. It's actually just, it makes me so angry that people spam me. Sorry, people. Don't spam me invites, please, because when I try to join my friends' games, it gets really aggravating because I don't think about it. I just hit the first invite and then I die. And I get really embarrassed because I joined some random person's party and then I have to leave. And then they come in my next live stream, and they're like, "Why did you join my party?" You know, I'd be like, "I don't know, maybe because you sent me 500 fucking invites." And so, don't do that, please. I would really appreciate it. What's up, everyone in chat? Jeez, there's a lot of you guys. What's up? All right, guys. So we have a ton of stuff to talk about today. I guess I should do a proper intro. Hey, guys. Last word. This is Scare 9, episode I think 52. Who knows?
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Here's the Jay-Z man.
What's up?
Woot woot. Alright, we're going to talk about some important stuff today. First off, it's Faction Rally, so if you want some awesome stuff, go follow your favorite, or pledge to your favorite faction. Not New Monarchy, because I will not allow them to be your favorite, because they're garbage.
False.
Yeah. False. There's no good weapons this time. I'm gonna go one of each just to get my rewards. But freaking the Dead Orbit auto rifle from last week's in the loot pool. Gonna grind that out. But past that, I'm just gonna get my ornaments and then probably call it quits for the week. Been playing a lot of like lost sectors and stuff lately. So boom, there's that. Wait, are you showing us some of the new weapons? No, we're gonna talk about them. We're gonna talk about it because there's some very exciting news regarding those. So that's actually the first thing we're going to go ahead and, you know, jump into is the changes to the overall update roadmap that we are going to be getting. If you guys remember a while ago, I can actually probably pull it up on stream. We got this roadmap, and Bungie has since updated it. So this is the updated version right here. So essentially what's going on, they've just moved a couple of things. Everything for the most part is generally like the exact same, but they've moved over a couple of things. So first off, exotic repetition, which is the reduction of that, so you don't get the same exotic over and over again. And the Nightfall unique rewards have been pushed back just 1 month to update 1.1.4 or March 27th. So originally those were supposed to launch on Tuesday with update 1.1.3, but for reasons we're going to discuss here in a second, those were pushed back, which I'm perfectly fine with. You know, if they need to take more time and do that. And then we'll also talk about what kind of stuff we're going to get with 1.1.4. Also, exotic weapon and armor changes, which they've been very, very vocal about recently, got pushed back till May with the new DLC. Once again, if they need some extra time, I'm cool with that. And I just, like, that's some huge stuff going on. So we talked about the Graviton Lance last time. I believe it's John Wazinski, or I can't even pronounce his last name, Wazinski, tweeted out that he got a triple kill with the Sunshot because of its change to the exotic perk, which makes it seem like whenever you kill someone with the Firefly aspect of the Sunshot, they then explode too. So that would be pretty cool. I don't know, JZ, do you get... this might be a me thing. I get really excited when I hear about all the just huge changes they're going to make to the exotics. Because...
Well, yeah.
Like if you think about it, in Destiny 1, it never really happened. Like, you know, it kind of, I guess, sort of happened. The Suros got the Focus Fire perk, and the other one that you can pick between with the Taken King. There were a couple minor changes. Actually, that's pretty much it. There are some other little ones. But for the most part, in Destiny 1, we didn't get a lot of exotic changes. And so, I'm just so excited. Like, even, like, the Graviton Lance has a huge change coming. The Sunshot has some huge changes coming. We have the Skyburner's Annex, or Oath. Shoot, which one is... Skyburner's Oath is the scout rifle. Right. Yeah. Annex is Destiny 1. Goodness gracious, too many things. Getting some huge changes. That's just... It's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun. I don't remember from last week. Which weapon are you most excited for to be usable?
Graviton Lance.
Graviton Lance?
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
I've been talking with Retool, one of our clanmates, for everyone who doesn't know, a lot. And he's actually really excited about the 2-round burst because, like, a lot of battlefield weapons are 2-round bursts and stuff. I'm more on the edge about it. I think it'll be really odd. We haven't really had anything kind of like that in Destiny. I mean, the Vigilance Wing is 5, which is balanced pretty well, so it seems like they're capable of doing weird number bursts. I'm just a little bit worried that it won't feel right. But I'm very hopeful, though. I hope it will. So the reason they're pushing back the Nightfall unique rewards, which is I'm super excited for, I'm just going to go ahead and read this passage. Actually describes it. This is from Christopher Barrett, and it says, quote, "With today's update, we've moved a few items out to a later release. This is because we're trying to ensure each feature we add hits a sufficiently high quality bar, so while we really want to get Nightfall unique weapons in your hands next week to coincide with Nightfall scoring, it's more important that each of those rewards lives up to the difficulty it will take to earn them. They will have to be super cool, so we're giving the artists extra time to make sure they are super cool. Mod system improvements are also still planned, but will not be available when 1.2.0 is released, which is the Gods of Mars DLC. We'll give more details on when to expect these changes at a future date." So, that right there, if you guys caught that in chat, they have to be super cool, so we're giving the artists extra time to make sure that they are. So this isn't a reskin. You know, a reskin, I imagine, doesn't take too long to do. If they're requiring a whole month of extra time, these are completely new models. I hope modeled after, you know, things in the game, the bosses. Like, even if you think back to different strike rewards in Destiny 1, Grasp Malak was just a reskins Abyss Defiant. Is that right, JZ?
No, it was a Abyss Defiant was the auto rifle. It was
the pulse rifle.
Yeah,
Oversoul Edicts.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah, so it was just a reskin that one. You had the Treads Upon Stars, which was just a reskins freaking Vision of Confluence. You had the Amalga Loop, which was just a reskin Fatebringer. You know, in Destiny 1, these weapons that people like really coveted and really wanted to get, they weren't actually too unique if you took the time to look at them. Whereas here it looks like we're going to be getting some actual very, very unique weapons, which is something I really wanted to highlight because last week, you know, we talked about strike-specific rewards, or 2 weeks ago, whenever we did it, but, you know, we mainly focused on the armor aspect of it. I'm actually even more excited for the weapons because especially with them doing static rolls, there's a very big possibility that these might have some semi-unique perks on them or something. Which is just super excited for me. So, Jay-Z, if you had to pick 3 bosses that get unique weapons, what would they be, what would they do, and what weapon type would the weapons be as well as who would they come from. That was kind of a what would they be was a badly worded question.
I'm trying to think of my 3 favorite. It's been a while since I've done strikes because, you know, reasons. What was the first strike that was in the beta? It'd be cool if we got some kind of like Vex themed.
The inverted spire.
Yeah, inverted spire. So if we got some kind of maybe like a Vex head to shoot, like that would be kind of cool.
Oh, like a trace rifle.
Yeah,
that was a Vex
like
head.
That. Yeah.
Oh, that would actually be pretty freaking sweet.
So that would be cool. I don't know, you know, how much effort that would go into that, but like.
I assume it's already designed for Eater of Worlds.
They have it. Yeah. So like, because those things are fun to run around with and shoot, but like, why not use it as a weapon? You know, have it as like a.
It would. I think you would have to stay in first person though. I don't think they would be able to.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think that would be really cool.
Or like no, it could be like a sword. Like, you know, they can go in third person. I don't know. Well,
I think having a third person secondary weapon would be. I think that gives you an unfair advantage.
Yeah, I don't know how hard it would be to like model the weapon like when you're running around or like aiming down sights, but it'd be kind of cool. I think, like, you know, because the Vex was or not the Vex, the exotic from the original Vault of Glass.
Vex Mythoclast.
Yeah, Vex Mythoclast. It was unique and it kind of looked like
it was like a reskinned Vex.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I guess like it would.
Yeah,
be
that would actually be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be down for that.
But it'd be obviously be legendary unless
legendary,
they're doing
right?
Exotic strike awards, which I don't think they're doing. So
no, that would be really cool.
Okay, and I'm trying to think what are some of the strikes that you like that you can think off the top of your head, and I'll come up with
here, one sec. I want to answer a question in chat. It's me face. It's from Christopher Barrett, the game director. And people in chat, I am reading everything you say, by the way. We'll get to your responses in a second. One that sticks out on the top of my head, the arms dealer strike, the Cabal guy there at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
A sniper rifle like he has.
Yeah, or
baller.
Like he calls out that he has that little like iPhone that he calls in. Like,
yeah.
Have something like with that attached to the weapon, like, you know, just has a callback to that boss. I think would be cool.
Yeah, exactly. Just something, you know, a sniper rifle with a cool little design on it or something. I think would be really like an iPhone design, or I call it his iPhone.
I mean, we don't really literally have any super unique legendary snipers that I can think of, so it would give it some kind of it would give it some character, I think.
That's definitely the way they're going with it. Like, regardless if our predictions are right or not, like, they're very obviously going for a very, very unique feel here, which, of course, from strike-specific things, from things that you only get from a specific boss, you should definitely do, you know? I think that's a lot of people's main problems with the raid weapons, is they don't feel all too unique. You know, they look really nice, but they don't, like, the general aesthetic looks kind of unique, but if you put that same shader on any gun in the game, then, you know, it looks exactly the same. Like, it's not exactly unique. So I'm really excited for that. I think the Fallen themed weapons in Destiny 1 were some of my favorite, even though I'm not like a huge fan of the Fallen, like the Does Not Bow, the Baron's Ambition. I would really like to see those. There's another one. The sniper rifle that you could get from the Siva strikes. The Devil's
Dawn?
Yeah, the Devil's Dawn, something like that. Like, I think that would be really cool. I really like the weird rocky Fallen pod design thing. I think that would be something really cool. Maybe from Thavix. Although, I think from Thavix, it would be even more cool to get a sword that was shaped kind of like his little stick thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's all of those, and then I have to pick one more. The problem is, a lot of the bosses use, like, sniper rifles. Like, if I were to pick Brachion from the Pyramidion, you know, I would say a linear fusion rifle. That looks like his linear fusion rifle. A lot of the bosses have stuff like that. I guess you could kind of wish for like a an auto rifle. This would be really weird though. Like an auto rifle, like the map strike. I forget what it's called exactly. I don't remember. The one that came with the Curse of Osiris, the one where the Cabal John Cena's the the Vex. Yeah. But he has like a minigun, and I just feel like that would, like, if you put that in the game, it would kind of undermine the sweet business.
Not really, because they could make it shoot like an auto rifle, but look like a minigun.
I guess.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to shoot like 1,200 rounds per second or per minute or whatever. Like, but I mean, just giving it a unique perk, like, that's the thing with the set weapon rolls. The uniqueness of the weapons matters more now than just about anything else. So,
and I think also, like, the reason the Devil's Dawn was so loved was because it did the 10% inherent extra damage on Fallen.
Yes.
And it's like, and that was super important, especially with like the Wrath of the Machine, because everything was Siva. The same thing happened with one of the some sniper rifle did 10% more damage.
The red Masma, whatever it was called. Is that what it was called?
It doesn't sound familiar, but maybe
it was the sniper from the raid. It did
the Ex Machina is what you're talking about. Ex
Machina, yeah. Why? Yeah. It was in my head, like the name sounds familiar. So.
But I was talking more like with King's Fall. I remember when it first came out, people were rocking a sniper rifle that did 10% more damage to the Taken, and it could have been the Defiance of Yasmin, but I don't think it was. I think there's another legendary one. It wasn't,
because that one had the highest aim assist, so they like to use it in Crucible, and it had the Cocoon, but I don't have the. I'm pretty sure it didn't have the 10%. None of the King's Fall ones had the. Except for. No, I don't think they did.
I don't remember. It's too far back. I can hardly remember names, let alone perks. But it's like, we need more of that in Destiny 2. You know, if we are going to have static rolls, you know, I don't want two weapons with like, static rolls. Give me one I really can strive for. And I think this is an excellent opportunity, especially because they're already going the route like, okay, we just need to make them feel more powerful all around. You already gave us more supers. You already increased the damage our grenades do. You already increased pretty much everything at this point. Give us more powerful weapons as well. I don't think that would be game-breaking. I think it would do very well. And I like I said, you know, it would give me a reason. Like, I will gladly sit there all day and grind the same strike over and over and over again, even if it's in Nightfall form, to get a unique weapon. The Taken Will, that thing was garbage. I did 8 hours of grinding to get that weapon.
Yeah.
In one day. Like, it's not... And it was, like I said, it was terrible.
Just think of it this way. Other than the rocket launcher, do any of us use any of the weapons from the raid?
I like the Ghost Primus a little bit.
Yeah, but like now that... Okay, so you might use it on the inside, but I used the rocket launcher because I haven't got the curtain call yet.
Yeah.
So like that's literally like... So, but it would... If they gave the extra 10% damage on any of those weapons, it would give us motivation to possibly use it in some scenario.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think and you know, that's kind of like a different discussion, but at the same time, that applies over, like, I'm really excited they're taking the time to do these weapons and making them aesthetically pleasing and unique and awesome, but I really want that to roll over to the perks.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see what chat has to say. Josh Freeman, I wish strike-specific loot was already in and not pushed back because I was starting to do Prestige Nightfalls recently. But like you said, it's cool if they need more time. Yeah, I don't want them to rush anything like this. I'm really excited for the scoring next week. We already get all the emblem stuff we're going to talk about in a bit. We'll have plenty of stuff next week. It might not be like a loan a month's worth of content, but this paired with Iron Banner and that kind of stuff. Well, especially, I think... Either the next Iron Banner... No, Iron Banner 6v6 comes in March too. Okay, so we're getting there. We'll have a lot of stuff to do, is what I meant. Zever 3X, I just hope the strike-specific loot has different perks. Oh yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Because other than cosmetic purposes, I would only grind for how cool it looks. Exactly. And like I said, even the cosmetic things like the Stolen Will, I grinded for forever. The Imago Loop, I guess people were fascinated with trying to get the perfect roll in the Imago Loop. So
yes.
New
Fatebringer, basically. Well, before the Fatebringer came back, that was the only thing you could get those perks on.
I think one thing that's also really important, if they are not going to be re-rollable, which they're not going to be, we need to, or you know, random perks, they need to be very rare. We can't be getting the same weapon 1 out of every 2 times we do the strike, because there's no variance and it's going to become tedious. There needs to be, they need to be, I'd say 1 in 25 Nightfalls. I think that sounds about good. Maybe a little bit less than that because I have to grind for them. So
I don't know, because like I think that I would be happy with the 1 in 25, even higher than that, honestly. Like, I mean, I've got the worst RNG of anybody, but like, to me, like having super rare things in a game gives you reason to keep coming back.
You're right. Make them 1 in 700. Let's do it.
1 in a million. Let's go. Let go. No, I'm just playing. Obviously, but like I like, because I know that they talk about only wanting, you know, wanting everybody to have access to everything, but I like when people have things that I'm like, dang, I want that. I want to grind towards that, or I want to strive to, you know, play this part of the game to get that, because you know, I want to play with that too. Not like, oh, I wish I had that and everybody should have it. Like that's not the mentality I have when I play games. So I know, I understand some people have that mentality.
That's why whenever we go to Borderlands, I'm gonna take the legendaries first.
We're fighting over that. No, I'm just I'm just joking. But,
I'm like, Jay-Z's gonna be here all day anyways. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, my RNG.
Actually,
maybe I'll have good RNG in Borderlands.
So. Wait, well, technically, actually, since you're willing, even if you get it or even if you don't get it, technically you should take it first, because I'll keep grinding until I get it. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll be in talks.
Yeah. No, I'm getting Borderlands the day it comes out. There's no.
Oh, I'm getting it the day before it comes out. I'm mugging.
Oh yeah, are you?
Oh yeah. No, it's gonna be good. Anyways, different discussion for a different day. Yeah. They need to be more on the rare side. They need to be unique. They need to look awesome. Which Christopher Barrett's team is in control of it. I no doubt in my mind these things are gonna just be freaking awesome. You know, there's no part of me is worrying right now. That first Tuesday, March 27th, I'm gonna get on. I might leave class a little bit early. I'm going to get on the moment the update goes live, and I'm going to grind until I get that unique. And then I'm going to make a video about how awesome it is and why Christopher Barrett is the OG greatest person on Earth. And it's going to be a great day.
Great day?
Great day. Next one. Zever again. Hey, Scarrow, is there going to be strike-specific loot? Or if there's going to be strike-specific loot, but no way to choose specific strikes on the map, then people grinding for one specific strike would leave strikes, causing strike problems? No, because strike-specific loot only drops from Nightfalls. So you have to willingly go into it. I'm sure that was part of the decision, actually.
Yeah, and we talked about that, what, 2 weeks ago or last week? It was one or the other.
I think it was 2 weeks ago. It's been a while.
I think we went back and forth on it of... like, because you wanted it Nightfalls, and I wasn't sure, but I think it's better just to be in the Nightfall, make it in the harder activity.
If it's Nightfall, it controls the flow of content a little bit better.
No, and I agree with that. But you know, if it matters how rare it is, I guess. Like
it's just like I remember that first day. That's especially like when skeleton keys got brought out. In my opinion, skeleton keys were the equivalent of 3 of coins for strike specifics. They kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that.
Because like in the day that Rise of Iron came out, in a span of 4 hours, I was able to make videos on every single strike specific thing, and you know, like, where's the mystery behind it? Where's the running it and being surprised by what you get? If everyone has every single strike specific loot in the first 4 hours of the system going live, then, nah, you know? But if we're limited to one a week, you know, it's much easier to control, like, hey, it's Tuesday, I don't want to know what the strike specific is, I'm just not going to go on Reddit for a bit. So I like the more controlled flow. Maybe, you know, if after they've been out for a month or two or whatever, you know, then generally make it, you know, these drop from normal strikes now, that's great. Sort of like they did with the Prestige raid gear, on a different scale, of course, but, you know, make it accessible to, like, the hardcore people and then to the many. You know, that can actually be even compared to, like, the Cold Heart. The hardcore people, the people who pre-ordered, got the Cold Heart for 3 months longer, and then December came, and it's like, hey, everyone gets it now. Something kind of like that, I think would be cool. But initially, I do think that keeping them limited to the Nightfall is not only a great way to limit the flow of content, thus prolonging like the longevity of the activity, but it also gives me a reason to go back and do the Nightfall. And never in Destiny have I ever had a reason to actively go and do the Nightfall. Like, even when they brought the Icebreaker back, I got it like the first week, and I was just like, well, great. There goes my one reason to ever do Nightfalls. I've never been a fan of Nightfalls in Destiny.
Honestly, I loved them.
It's just like...
Josh and I did them every week, yeah.
And that was the thing, like, you guys were always like, Scarrow, come do them, and I was always like, but I can do stuff that matters. Like, it's just like, the Nightfall, it's cool, it's a cool concept, but, you know, if I want something challenging, I'm gonna go do the raid, because the Nightfall is never rewarding enough. If I want something where I can go shoot people, I'm just gonna go do anything else, like the raid. If, you know, and if there's rewards, like the Auras and the Emblems, which we're gonna talk about in a bit, and the strike-specific loot limited to the Nightfalls, you know, I'm going to be like, hey, Nightfalls, Josh and Jay-Z, you've been asking me for 4 years to go do a Nightfall. Let's go finally do them, you know? Like, it's one of those things. Yeah, I think
when they brought the aura back of the 25% gain or 20% gain is when we're hitting them every week, just to get that extra gain of experience on everything.
Right. Next one, Jacob Creed. I'd like to see a Hive-style weapon that drops from Savathun's Song Strike. I feel like a Hive-themed weapon would be really unique, and people would be grinding for it, no doubt. I actually do really like that.
Yeah.
The thing with Hive weapons, have we ever had a Hive weapon? We've had Necrochasm, kind of counts.
Wasn't the whole Crota Strike Hive weapons?
Well, I mean, it's a raid, by the way. I don't know if that was intentional.
Yeah. It was a glorified strike, but yeah, like those were all Hive weapons.
Yeah, but I mean, they were kind of like Hive themed. I'm thinking like unique firing styles, though. I don't know if we've ever had a proper like Hive weapon. Oh, touch and mouse, sort of. Yeah, I guess a Hive themed weapon. You know, Savathun's Strike, I think it would still be really cool if we got a weapon that fired like the hard light, but it fired like ogre blasts instead, like just little spheres. I think that would be so cool. Maybe you know, something a little bit unique. I'm a big fan of like alternate firing styles. I know that's probably not what we're gonna get, but I still think they're super unique. But like a Hive themed weapon that just looks like the Grass Moloch or something, you know, all bony. I do like that. I think that's a fantastic idea. And Savathun's Song, is that the only Hive Strike we have?
Yeah. I think so. Sure, we'll go with that.
Are there really 4 Vex Strikes and 1 Hive Strike? I guess there's technically only 3 Vex Strikes.
There's like 2 or 3 Cabal Strikes too.
Yeah, there are 2 Cabals.
Yeah.
3 Vex, 1 Fallen. Is there another Fallen? I don't know. Different discussion for a different day.
I see. I've always liked the Vex weapons the best, in my opinion. Like, I just like.
Well, the Vex are just the coolest in my opinion. So
yeah,
I'm obviously gonna like their theme stuff. I'm a very big like technological guy. And
yeah, that's me too.
That's why I always thought it was really weird that I liked the Fallen weapons, because they do just look like scraps of rock put on top of a gun. But I always thought they had a really cool feel to them. I don't know. I just think there hasn't. I guess the Does Not Bow was like garbage. But like things like even the Soul Sealer's Claw, Vex weapons just have a history of being pretty good. So, or excuse me, Fallen weapons have a history of being pretty good. So, well, I guess that statement goes for the Vex too. So I think both of them I'd be down to see. Josh Freeman, remember the Hunter, Arc, Void, and Solar Cloaks from Destiny 1? The Flare Mantles.
The Flares.
Yeah, that would be cool. I want stuff like that. I actually think it would be really cool to have, so let's just pick a strike with a cool aesthetic. Let's just say, like, Brachion. for there to be a helmet that drops from Brachion, but you know, instead of it only being like a Warlock helmet, like from the Saber Strike, or like a Titan helmet, like from Darkblade, have one that's like, it can literally be equipped on all 3 of your characters. Like a class non-specific one. I think that would be so cool. And that would give it would be the first class non-specific armor piece in Destiny, thus making it super unique and giving it, you know, making it worthy of being a strike-specific armor piece. I think that'd be just...
See, I would rather have them just have it all 3 of that specific piece, like drop a different variant for each class.
So like a Warlock one looks a little bit different, a Hunter one.
Yeah,
or...
but it's the same, like it's say it's a helmet, or it's a boss drop that drops helmets for all 3 of your characters.
Right.
That type of thing.
Alright, yeah, I'd be down for that. Let's see. Yeah, I think... Oh, the Taken Strike on PS4. I always forget that, man. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it with the strike-specific weapons. I really just hope, you know, we get unique perks, unique looks, and I hope they're not too common. And, you know, they said they're going to start to appeal to the more hardcore player now, and I think a huge part of that is appealing to the grinding aspect of the game. So I really hope they take that into consideration. And, you know, I'm pretty confident they will, especially, you know, like, the Raid Ghost. Man, that blew me away. Like, for those of you who weren't watching, I got very close to breaking a single tear, not actually crying, maybe. When I got the Raid Ghost, I was just excited, man. I don't know, and that took me 4 weeks to get. Like, goodness gracious, and I think that was just a combination of, like, you know, I was really excited to get it, but that's a feeling that I've never had from Destiny. I've never had to wait 4 weeks to get something. I have gotten very lucky with the few grindable things in Destiny, and I was just excited to finally experience something like that. So I'm very confident that the strike-specific weapons are going to be more on the rare side. Hopefully. The next thing, this is also a quote from Christopher Barrett. We also have a big addition we are eager to share. Rumble will be joining 6v6 Iron Banner and Mayhem in our new rotating weekly Crucible playlist in 1.1.4. We want to make sure players have a more diverse set of game modes available both in Crucible and private matches. Doubles is also planned to return, but we do not have an exact release date just yet. Keep an eye out for next week's This Week at Bungie, where we will go more in depth on our future Crucible plans, which I'm pretty excited about that. We might have to do a live episode on Thursday for that, because that should be pretty big, hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see. So, I kind of like this, but I don't. Iron Banner, I get being a rotating thing. Mayhem, I get being a rotating thing. Rumble's not a rotate-worthy playlist. Rumble should be available always. At least in my opinion. I don't know why they're doing this. I find it kind of silly. I really hope they take some of the player feedback on this. The general feedback has been not very good. I get trying to have a different weekly playlist every week. I get that. I also think that having a different weekly playlist every week kind of takes away from Iron Banner, though. I feel like Iron Banner right now is at a point where I actually very much enjoy doing it, and I would try not to detract from that experience if at all possible. But Rumble needs to be an everyday thing. There are players who very much are solo-oriented, especially in Crucible, and I don't think it makes sense to have them be able to fulfill their favorite activity one time out of a month. Like, that seems kind of silly to me. So I don't. What do you think, Jay-Z?
No, I completely agree that Rumble should be full time, not just for solo players, but that is how you get better at Destiny Crucible. That's how a lot of the really good Crucible players in Destiny 1, they cut their teeth in Rumble, and then they were able. You know, you learn one-on-one skills that way. You learn how to, when you're surrounded, you know how to fight your way out of it. And it takes a lot of time, but Rumble is where you grow as a player, you know, in PvP. So I always think that should be in there, just because it gives players that place where they can go and challenge themselves and get better.
Right. I don't know what kind of call that is. I don't know if it's easier to throw in if it's a weekly playlist. I don't know. I just don't understand that move. I hope we get clarification on that next week with the This Week at Bungie. Hopefully they explain it. I'm personally not very confident in that move, which is really weird because I'm usually like pretty understanding whether I agree with it or not from Bungie. You know, I generally get like the overall gist of what's going on. This one just doesn't make any sense to me. So I would definitely like some follow-up and some clarification. I guess bottom line, it's a really good thing that we're getting it back you know, like in the first place. So,
it's better than nothing, but
yeah.
I think it should always be there.
And I think it's really exciting. If I'm not mistaken, the freaking the Mayhem wasn't supposed to be in a weekly rotation until season 4, or excuse me, season 3 in May, and it sounds like they bumped it up. And same thing with Rumble actually. So it's pretty cool that they were able to move those up, but at the same time, like, they shouldn't be exclusive modes like that. It seems, like I said, a little bit counterintuitive.
Well, I can understand Mayhem because, like, if you had that constant...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It would get old really quick, but,
yeah.
But, yeah, Rumble should always be there.
One thing with the Mayhem, I was really hoping that, you know, like Iron Banner, it was going to have some type of unique reward system or something, but the fact that we're getting Rumble on top of that, like, I don't think that's the case, which is really unfortunate because I think Mayhem-themed stuff would be really cool. Like, you know, your rewards for playing a bunch of Mayhem would be, like, you could reward literally destroyed pieces of armor. And, like, that's your... I think that would be so cool.
Well, what if you, like, got, like you said, destroyed pieces of armor, and then, like, say you had to collect 5 pieces of a chest piece to create a full chest piece, and then you got that piece of armor.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Like that.
Yeah, and when you killed random people in the Crucible, it had a chance to drop. That would be like a chest piece would, and then you could build like a scrap chest piece, and it would be like you know, forged out of your foes that you defeated in Mayhem or something. I think that would be really cool. I was really hoping for something like that. I get that, you know, obviously development time for a lot of this is a huge limiting factor, which I totally respect. I just I don't see how adding a new playlist for Rumble would take that much effort. I feel like it would be nearly exactly the same. Like I said, not a game designer, but I feel like it can't be too much different, right? Zesia says, I feel like Rumble is just a placeholder at a minute, Scarrow. Once a new game mode is introduced, it will replace Rumble, which will then be moved to a permanent game mode selection. That actually makes a lot of sense. So instead of having 2 weekly Crucible things, and Iron Banner having... with Iron Banner having 3 until they can introduce, you know, like combined arms or something back. I think that's a really good one. Will Rumble be 12 or 8 players? I imagine 8.
12 would be way too many. Yeah,
like, a lot of these maps are really small. I'm still super interested to see how they do 6v6.
I wouldn't be surprised if Rumble's 6 instead of 8. That would make more sense for queuing up into it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Let's see here. Arlo, Scarrow, do you think Bungie should add more interesting Crucible modes to the rotating playlist other than Iron Banner, Mayhem, and Rumble, and eventually Doubles? Yeah, I would like to see more fun stuff. We haven't had really fun game modes in Destiny. You know, focus on something where you like creative ways of killing or something like that. You don't really see that. I want to see a relic only mode, you know, like a bunch of Crota swords swinging around. That's the only thing you can get kills with. I want to see like really fun stuff like that. Rift even was fun. I know a lot of people didn't like Rift. I personally liked Rift, unless it was Iron Banner. Then it was terrible.
Yeah. Don't ever make Iron Banner Rift.
Yeah. It was one of those things like, yeah, I want more creative stuff, but I don't want like different game modes like 3v3, 4v4, skirmish, Rumble, Supremacy. I want creative. I want really fun. I think Crimson Days was a great example of that. Something, you know, makes you feel more powerful, adds to the diversity of gameplay, makes Crucible fun. I think that's it. Yeah, so past that, the next thing we're going to be talking about is the new emblem system and the customizable emblems, the emblem variants and stuff like that. So that's really cool. They're adding more trackable stats. The one example they gave was, of course, the number of prestige completions you have. They're adding to the prestige mode, Callus one. Then they will also be adding your total number of kills and your total number of kills, like how many Titans you kill, how many Warlocks you kill, how many Hunters you've killed, to the main Crucible one. I think that's fantastic. I am a huge data nerd. I get zero shame out of saying that. I love knowing how many bullets I've fired, how many orbs of light I've created since the beginning of the game, how many things I've killed, how many just these arbitrary numbers that most people would not really care to know. I'm like all over that stuff. I think that's so cool. So I definitely am a huge fan of them adding this. And then not only adding a stat tracking system, but adding custom variants of that emblem based on your progression in those stats is so cool. So they're going to be deploying 3 types of customizable emblems just to start off with. So there are the strike ones, which we talked about. So if you get a certain strike score or whatever, you get variants for the emblem. And that actually ties into specific auras as well, because auras will now be tied to emblems, which we'll talk about in a second. So that's pretty cool. If you do, if you're top 100 in the world in scores of this said Nightfall, then you will actually get a unique aura, which is really cool. Then on top of that, there is the Crucible ones, which I showed in yesterday's video. Essentially, you kill 1,000 Titans, you get the Shattered Titan logo variant. So cool. And then they will also be adding the final one next week is the Destination variants, which they made sound like will come from like random loot chests hiding around. It doesn't sound like it'll come from doing like X amount of public events here or anything like that. It sounds like you actually have to find them, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I think this is a very amazing system. I think it's a very good start to an amazing system. I want to see Trials themed ones. If you go flawless 25 times, you get an exclusive aura. You get an emblem variant. Some really cool stuff. The Prestige Raid, I'm coming up on my 20th Prestige Raid completion. I feel like, or maybe even 25th, I feel like I should have a variant because I didn't just beat it once. I'm not the type. I don't want to sound elitist here, but I'm not in the same category as someone who just managed to get the emblem. I'm in a variant, or a location, or a type, the group of people who mastered the Prestige Raid. So I think it would be really cool if we got a variant. JC, what type of variant emblems would you like to see?
Pretty much anything that can be tracked. Like, the only emblems that I have in my inventory currently are ones that track something. I'm kind of the same way as you. I like to see progression. That's why I like the Kill Tracker Ghost, even though it only does like it doesn't have the perks on it I want like anymore, but like I like to have one on each character just to kind of see those stats. So I think you've pretty much knocked them all out. Like maybe kills within the raid, or like,
oh, that would be cool
if they ever add cough sub bosses to some of the raid things.
Oh no.
Maybe like boss kills, like total boss kills. That would be kind of cool. Because right now completions are boss kills, and so that's not. Or maybe like encounters completed, or don't they already do that on the
that is the new Ghost
current
shell.
Ghost. Yeah,
I know that you wouldn't know, so I'll give you a pass on that.
Yeah. So that's a little
just backstory. Out of like the 10 people we run the raid with, Jay-Z's now the only one not to have the raid.
And I'm the only one that has done it, other than Scarrow every time. So
yep.
It's a little salty on that, but we're not gonna so, but like anything that, like just pretty much anything that they can think of to track, put it on some kind of emblem so you can equip it, and like I think I enjoy that because they didn't have things like that in Destiny 1. So
yeah, exactly. It's expanding the system, and I love like little things like that. Where like in 2 years or whenever, when Destiny 3's coming out, I can do a final walkthrough of my vault or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going through my emblems and I like, holy crap, I know life the living hell out of this game. I have 70,000 Fallen kills, 40,000 Vex kills. And look at all the variants of these emblems I have because I spent too much time in this game. That kind of stuff. They track all this data in the API anyways.
You just named it right there. Did they show an emblem with specific enemy kills?
Not yet. Like I said, all they're doing right now is Crucible, Nightfall in the Destination. But I'm sure.
Give an emblem with every single, like, not just like every like faction, but like also like Titans Hunters. Just put them all on one like set of emblems so you can see how many of each thing you've killed. I think that'd be cool.
Right. Here's a question in chat. Bungie has different teams for different things, but why can't they work together to pump out these patches faster? So I think a lot of the reason that a lot of these patches take so long, you have to think, a person who mainly codes, let's say, you know, weapon perks, you know, you have to make sure everything's working correctly. You have to make sure it's responding in game and shows up, the logo, the description, all this stuff. They're not gonna know the systems to design a weapon. More than likely, you know, obviously I don't know their history as a game developer. And even if they have some experience, they might not know the exact way that the team doing it does it. You know, because for every bit of code, there's 100 different ways you can write it. And if you know, have a dissenting coding style to someone, that could cause some problems down the line. And I think a large part of, you know, getting patches out is actually not designing, it's the QA. The quality assurance testing. Because if you look at a game like Fortnite, I love Fortnite. I'm having so much fun with it right now. They do weekly updates. But every time they release an update, they mess something up. And it is so aggravating. You know, and it's like little things like changing the efficiency of your rendering distance on your console has made it impossible to see supply drops. Or there's a bug going around now that just because they make it so you can build faster, it's actually possible to make it so the game glitches out and you can't fire a single weapon for the rest of your match. Like, I don't want that happening in Destiny. I don't want to be in the middle of a prestige raid and all of a sudden, like, my trigger doesn't work because Bungie rushed a patch out, something got jacked up, and now my gaming experience is tainted by that.
Well, to answer that as well, all the departments do work together, but they have to be passed between the departments, kind of like he was hinting at. So when, say, you have a weapons balance patch, you have to make sure that it doesn't mess up this game mode, or it doesn't mess up this or that, like basically like he was talking about Fortnite did. So you've got they have people working on it. I'm sure they come out with the patches, but I'm sure they have to constantly like tweak them or go back in and figure out why this is doing that and why that's doing that, and that's why they had to push some of them back even.
Right.
Nothing ever works perfect in in technology or coding or anything like that. Like if it did, then you know games would be put out every 2 years. There'd never be any delays. Things like that. There's no such thing as a perfect engine, and it's a difficult thing to, you know, it's a difficult balance because game designers, they want to get their product out as fast as possible, but they also want to get the correct product out. So
right. I just think, yeah, there are a lot of teams, but you have to think like these are a lot of changes that don't necessarily have anything to do with each other. I know it might be easy to say, you know, strike scoring and strike specific loot. Oh, hey, those are probably the same teams, but in reality, they're more than certainly not. Like I could be wrong, but you got to think there's UIs, there's art designers, there's freaking coders, like sandbox developers making sure everything looks all right, works all right. You have people working on the auras, people working on the weapons. You have to make sure none of the weapons are broken in the Crucible. You have to make sure none of them are broken in PvE. Like there are a lot of teams, they are working together. But, you know, with a bigger game, also, you know, with Fortnite, it's like, it's epic. It's a tiny studio versus Bungie, 700 people, with a game that is, you know, arguably 700 times bigger than Fortnite. I know that might be kind of silly, but it's like, there's so many different aspects of Destiny, and you're bound to mess something up. And so you just have to be so careful. And you know, obviously they can't be perfect, which is why we see things like the Prometheus lens bug.
Yeah.
They do work together. You know, it's not a single. You know, they don't assign 4 people, and they're like, it's your job to design the UI, get it implemented, put it in the code, put out the update, have it ready for me. You know, it's there's a team leader for that more than likely. Obviously, I don't work at Bungie, and then it passes between the different teams. So I wouldn't say they don't work together, and even then.
No, they work together. They have to.
And you know, even then, you can't just say like. Can't they just work together? Because when like the art team finishes up with the aura design or something, you know, they're not just done. They don't just sit there. They have other projects they have to work on. You know, the new DLC's coming up. They have to design the stuff for season 3. They could very well, but you know, if everyone's helping everyone to get stuff out faster, then everyone's projects are actually going to be later in the long run. So I hope that a good enough thing. You know, I feel like just because we don't know the process at Bungie, it can lead to a lot of weird questions like that. And it's not inherently a bad thing. It's good to question the process. But I think it's one thing to question the process, and then another... I'm not accusing you of doing this, but a lot of people will, you know, accuse them of being lazy or not doing anything or stuff like that. And I think it helps to have a general idea about video game design and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, your average player doesn't understand what goes into creating and you know, balancing and things like that, because you know they're more about balance than anything. Like, they didn't make a sandbox where, you know, there's super overpowered weapons and there's like good weapons. They want everything to have their strengths and weaknesses, and you know, working within the game world that way. So
yeah,
there's a lot of tweaking, a lot of testing, a lot of everything that goes into that.
Right. The next community feedback is actually one that kind of leads into what I was going to talk about next. Josh Freeman, I think aura should be permanent, but you get different ones for everything every time you do a prestige raid or something. It changes colors or something like that. So I sort of agree with that. I think there should be milestones. You know, you complete the prestige raid, you get a gold aura. You complete it 10 times, you get like a black aura. You complete it 25 times, you get like a shiny rainbow one or something. You know, just like, I think there needs to be tiers. I think that would be really cool. But I think the main thing with that sentence that I really like is I think they need to be permanent. And that's one thing that they made it seem like auras are going to be tied to emblems, which is something, again, I don't like. I feel like if I complete an activity and can show off an aura, I shouldn't have to wear a certain emblem. I feel like that restricts a little bit of, you know, custom, you know, makes it less customizable. But on top of that, I just feel like there's a lot more... auras are more cool if you like I said, if I can grind out, like, hey, I need to do this 25 times to get this awesome aura, and everyone will know that my team's a badass, and that's all I need to do. Versus, oh, I did the raid once on Tuesday, I get a gold one. Oh, it's next Tuesday, we gotta redo the raid to get our aura. Like, I think it's much more incentive to keep replaying it if there are tiers and if they are permanent, in my opinion. And it also allows you to kind of label the type of player you are. What emblem you wear generally kind of can help define that. You know, if you're wearing a raid one, you probably do a lot of raids, that type of thing. But now you can diversify. If you... What was that? What was that?
I just can see players like the Gallahorn thing must have Onyx raid emblem.
That's fair.
Aura. Yeah, I could just see that. I could see it right now. Like, you know, LFG groups must have, you know,
I'm sure they're trying to avoid that too, which is a really good point. I feel like maybe even without the ranking system, I feel like aura permanence is better in my opinion. So there's that. Yeah, and just the last thing I wanted to talk about this episode is, you know, generally what we're getting next week. A recap of the update 1.1.3, which once again launches next Tuesday. Should be live sometime around 3 Eastern, but they've been finishing really early these last couple of updates. So I would even say somewhere around 1 or 3, somewhere in between there, Eastern. So everything that is coming, Nightfall scoring and high score tracking, which we will be doing a live stream Tuesday. At least for an hour or so, might be longer. We need to talk to the team about it to try to get the exclusive emblem, not only the one for, you know, just beating the world one, but the even more prestigious one we're going to try to get. Destination emblem variants, we're going to try to get a couple of those as well. Crucible emblem variants, of course, I probably already have all of those. Nightfall emblem variants, we just talked about that. Fire team members on the destination map, which would have been very helpful for this one, but I've just been running around Trossland for the last 40 minutes, I just realized, so probably didn't even get much stuff done on the faction rally, which is unfortunate. PC public text chat, which is, of course, opt-in, but, you know, people can now talk to each other, which is good. Companion mods / shader interaction, so now you can use the companion app to put on shaders and mods on your gear. And then the Prestige Nightfall Challenge cards V1, which goes with strike scoring. Essentially, modifiers on the Prestige raid. Which, like I said, next Tuesday we'll at least be live for a couple of hours, if not longer, testing out all the new stuff, grinding out the new auras, the new emblems, and that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, a huge update next week. Then in March we get all sorts of Crucible-based ones, and then in May we get the Gods of Mars. So pretty excited for all of that. Yeah, man, Jason, how are you feeling about all the stuff coming on next Tuesday?
I'm hoping I get off work in time. It's a busy time right now, but like I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to actually do some nightfalls with you, because I know Josh is always down for nightfalls, but actually the three of us back doing 3-man activities for a while, trying to get high scores is going to be fun.
Yeah,
so.
and especially like I think this plays to all of us. We're all the type of players to try to like just get everything perfect. And I think like once we get those strategies, you know, coming up with new strategies, being like, all right, you know, Josh, you kill these guys, I'll kill these guys, and that kind of stuff. I think that will be a lot of fun. Just trying to optimize our runs every time, trying to get that perfect run, perfect loadout, and I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see if there's anything else in chat. Yeah, just a lot of people having general discussions in there about what we were talking about. I mean, overall, yeah, I think everyone's pretty happy with everything. Like I said, there's a couple things. Rumbles should be permanent, and just some other stuff. It'll be easier to really give our opinions on this stuff once it's like actually in the game. So looking forward to that. Gonna have an awesome live stream on Tuesday and all that sort of stuff. But that's pretty much today's episode. So I want to thank everyone for coming out and joining. It's been episode 52. I've been Scarrow9. Remember, you can follow me at Scarrow9 on Twitter to keep up to date when The Last Word goes live. All stuff, you know, personal stuff about Fortnite and Destiny. When a video goes live, when we're thinking about doing stuff, that kind of thing. You can follow me over on Twitter for that. And then Jason, you can do your thing.
JZ Basketball 25 on Twitter and Xbox.
Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, make sure you guys go follow us. Go follow Christopher Barrett and all the Bungie devs to get, you know, up to date on all this stuff. Very excited for all of it. Yeah, I mean that's really it. It's hard to put excitement into words because then you just sound like an idiot. Like I'm excited. I'm excited. But
or getting too overly excited. So you know, because you want to keep your expectations grounded too on things.
Nah, not with Christopher Barrett, man. Okay,
I can feel you on that one.
Yeah. If Luke Smith was like, we are adding the best strike scoring system tomorrow, I would be like, okay, Luke. You know, not that he puts out bad products, they're just historically not as good. So definitely, I think this system's going to be fantastic because Christopher Barrett tends not to put his name over anything that's just not freaking awesome. So, yep, that's really pretty much gonna be it. I want to thank each and every one of you once again for coming out and joining. It makes the Last Word podcast what it is. I really enjoy doing it, and yeah.
Great discussions today too. In
boom,
chat.
boom. Always, yeah. I mean, you guys have some really awesome feedback all the time, which is good because half the time it's stuff I would never personally think of, which is, you know, obviously the point of a conversation. Like I said, I'll probably have a video for you guys this weekend or two or something. Live stream on Tuesday, probably this weekend too. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, pretty much just rambling at this point. So I'll go ahead and let you guys go. I hope you guys have a fantastic night, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.